going on, everybody? P691000 here. Thought I would do a old-fashioned video for old time's sake. Probably not going to edit in this video just because I kind of miss the old format. In the next video, I will return to editing because I do enjoy that. I do enjoy editing the videos and putting the picture platelets in and stuff like that, and that's fun for me. But just for old time's sake, I wanted to kind of do an old-timey video here for myself. All right, so today we're going to do a Monsters and Legends videos on something called the Hat Man. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of the Hat Man, but it's kind of like the shadow people in a way. It's a very mysterious phenomenon. The Hat Man story. It's not clear who first reported an encounter with the Hat Man, but when Hollis began cultivating reports on the shadow people phenomenon, she knew she had to distinguish it from reports of the Hat Man. According to Hollis, the Hat Man typically appears at night, dressed in a long black trench coat, a black three-piece suit, and a black hat, either a fedora, top hat, or cowboy hat. Witnesses say the Hat Man's eyes glow red, and occasionally he checks a gold pocket watch chained to his belt. He is described as being at least 6 feet tall, though usually his stature reaches between 7 to 10 feet. Hat Man experiences evolve a sense of inherent fear. As Hollis says, she believes he is a manifestation of negative energy in a person's life. She says she has never seen the Hat Man herself, chalking it up to a strong sense of faith and spirituality, which is her belief is why she personally hasn't seen it in her life. Her roommate, on the other hand, has in fact seen this wicked figure, resulting in a full-on panic attack. Hollis said her roommate jumped out of bed and began screaming at the top of her lungs when she saw the Hat Man. But as soon as Hollis opened the door to her room, finding her friend backed into a corner, the Hat Man immediately disappeared. The Hat Man is alleged to whisper ominous warnings to his victims, occasionally speaking in riddles. Hollis says he is where the buck stops when it comes to negativity. Unfortunately, there are no Hat Man pictures, save for the occasional drawing posted online, though it seems it would be difficult to capture a picture of such frightening entity when surrounded by darkness and fear in one's bed. So, usually, by the way, these things occur when people are suffering from sleep paralysis or something like that, which has happened to me once. I've never seen the Hat Man, but I did have sleep paralysis one time. Really creeped me out. And you cannot move. You're awake. You're in between sleep and awake. You cannot move. And luckily, I was able to like shake my head and wake myself up and get out of it. But it is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced. And if I was to see a 10-foot tall guy wearing a hat in front of me and I can't move, that's a terrifying thought. I could just imagine what some of these people go through when they see that. Unsurprisingly, one of the experiences people report with the Hat Man involves him jumping on their chest and choking them, much like the sleep paralysis demon. And this phenomenon has also been reported for centuries, depicted as far back as the 1700s in such classic Renaissance pieces as John Henry Fuse's, sorry, that's a German last name, The Nightmare. If you just look up the painting The Nightmare, it'll show you. It's pretty creepy. It's got a woman laying down on the bed. She's sprawled across the bed. You got a demon sitting on her chest, and then you've got what looks like a dead black horse, like with white eyes, no iris, or no just pure white eyes, just staring. So it looks like the horse is dead. So it's pretty creepy. And so that's the article goes on, but I'd like for us to talk about what the Hat Man could potentially be. Okay, so now we know the basis of the Hat Man story. We don't know where it first came from or who first reported it, but we do know basically what it is. So the Hat Man, they seem to come to the conclusion here in this article that the Hat Man is probably something that comes out of negative energy. You know, he's just pure negativity. And that could be. things like this have been around since the dawn of mankind, as far back as written record. As a matter of fact, in the South where I live, there's an old legend about a monster, if you will, or you can call her a monster, I guess. She's called the Boo Hag in the South. She originates in New Orleans, but there's stories about it all over the South, even in Tennessee, where I come from. Here, there's stories about the Boo Hag. The Boo Hag dresses as a beautiful young woman. You marry her, you take her home. Oh, you're so happy to be in love. You fall asleep, and while you're asleep, she's actually sucking the energy out of you. You don't know this, but as time goes on, and you don't understand why, you wake up more tired and more tired, and then people around you start to notice, and turns out you married a Boo Hag. This is kind of the same thing. Excuse me. Except obviously it's a little different because you're not marrying the Hat Man. But stories like this have been around for a long time. The Hat Man could be a manifestation of dark energy, negative thoughts, that come from your subconscious while you're sleeping. And maybe he really does just feed off of your subconscious mind, off your negative energy, off your troubles. If you're troubled in your life and you go to sleep, it's possible that this guy's coming for you. He's coming after you. So like I said, there's a lot of things like this that attack you when you're vulnerable. But the Hat Man is kind of a scary thing, because even with vampires, right? Vampires attack you while you're vulnerable. We've all seen the old black and white movies where the vampires come in, they open the doors, and they come in and they drink the blood from the innocent woman in the bed who can't defend herself. But even the vampire has to be invited into your home, right? He has to seduce that woman. He has to manipulate her into letting him in. The Hat Man doesn't have to seduce you. He doesn't have to manipulate you. He can just show up, apparently. The whole jumping on the chest thing, I don't know. I don't really have a reason for that, other than the fact that could be a lot to do with anxiety, or because you got to think about it. If you're in sleep paralysis, you can't move. You're laying there. You're half awake, half asleep. You see this big old 10-foot dude with a hat on and a trench coat. You're going to have massive amounts of anxiety because you can't move to defend yourself. So it could be that, or it could be that this mass of negative energy that has taken on human form is attacking you. That could really be what it is. So that I do agree with the article. I agree with Holly Hollis's interpretation of what this is. I think it's the ultimate combination of nightmares coming alive, kind of like Freddy Krueger in a way. I do believe that this is just dark energy feeding off of your subconscious, your troubled mind. If you have troubles in your life, we all have troubles, right? So but stuff like this has been around since the dawn of time. Actually, Freddy Krueger, if you'll ever watch the story on how Freddy Krueger was created, the producer of Freddy Krueger read an article one time. And for the life of me, I cannot think of who the producer of Freddy Krueger was. Was it John Carpenter? I cannot remember. But if you'll go back and you'll watch any other time, I would know his name. I'm a big horror fan. But he actually read an article one time about a kid. He was a refugee from the Vietnam conflict. An American family adopted him, took him in, and he wasn't sleeping. And they were giving him these sleeping pills, and he kept telling them, no, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. Something's going to kill me in my sleep. Sure enough, they went up one day and to wake him up to eat for breakfast, and he was dead. No medical problems, no heart attack, no stroke. He had just died in his sleep. When they opened up his closet, they found that he had pots of coffee hidden everywhere. He had been up for days and days. God only knows how long he'd been up. The sleeping pills they were giving him to help him sleep, he had been hiding them under his pillow. This kid was terrified to go to sleep because he knew something was after him in his nightmares. That's a terrifying thought. And I kind of think that's kind of what the Hat Man is. Maybe the Hat Man had something to do with things like that around the world. So this has been P69 1000. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought this was a cool one. I haven't done anything creepy like this in a long time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys prefer the edited videos rather than the old-timey, just face-to-face conversation videos. Let me know. Peace, love. I love you all. Have a great day.